Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, joining us all the way from different parts of the world. Thank you so much for being with us on today's program. My name is Anu Ojo, and I'm coming to you live from Kiev, Ukraine. Well, we've been on a wonderful journey for the past month, profiling and learning from the stories of people who have remarkable journeys, people who have gone through unique experiences and the beauty of process, and they've been able to share with us their life lessons. They've been able to, communicate with us their victories and their results they've been able to achieve. And I want to say that it's been a great, amazing journey so far. I've learned a lot. I've been inspired, and more importantly, it's been more about appreciating the journey of life and appreciating the process that even takes us to where we want to be. So if you're joining us on Facebook and on YouTube, thank you for being with us today. I would like to encourage you to please go ahead and share this video if you're yet to do that. If you're watching on Facebook, you could share this video on your timeline, or you could suggest it to your friends. And if you're watching on YouTube, you could share this YouTube link to your friends and on different social media platforms. Well, yesterday we had an amazing discussion with Mr. Ebenezer Achipong from Ghana, Africa. And it was an amazing testimony, I must say. And if you missed out on that testimony, I would like to encourage you to go to Dr. Sunday's YouTube channel, that is Dr. Sunday Adelaja, and search for the playlist titled Life Transforming Testimonies. You will be able to find yesterday's episode, yesterday's video, and also previous videos we've done on the life transforming testimonies. If you're watching us maybe for the first time and you're probably thinking, what is life transforming testimonies about? Well, we started this whole series on the 1st of May, and it is done to commemorate Dr. Sunday's 53rd birthday. That was last month, actually, the 28th of May. Dr. Sunday clocked 53, and he decided that this year he would want to, celebrate people who have learned from his life, people who are his mentees, his disciples, who encountered him either physically or encountered him through his books or through his materials or through his resources, and they've been able to make good use of what they've learned. They've been influenced positively by his life, and just to hear how they've been able to go through that whole process and the result they've been able to get by working on those principles and also working hard on themselves. Today we have a beautiful and amazing lady. I guess many people on the platform already know her, and maybe some might not know her. But if you are in the DSA family, or if you have seen anything connected to Dr. Sunday as relates with the banners, the designs and all of that, well, I want to present to you the miracle worker, the person who is behind the person who is behind all of these wonders you see on Dr. Sunday's platforms. Well, to the beautiful and amazing, gorgeous lady all the way from the United Kingdom, I want to make welcome to today's program, Mrs. Adeola Disu.
Hello, my Dr. Anu Ojo.
How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great. I'm so excited and pumped to be here. It's a privilege and an honor. These testimonies, since the 1st of May, these are real life testimonies. Yes, I agree that, when we have testimonies of headaches and leg pains going or whatever, but these are testimonies of changed lives. And, I have been blown away, just to see the impact of the truth that Dr. Sunday teaches on the lives of people. So I'm really excited to be here this evening to share part of my journey and some experiences that I've had with Dr. Sunday. It is an honor. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Well, you're welcome. So, our dear viewers, like I said, this is the lady who has been doing tremendously well, working with the team and helping with all of the graphics and designs. Well, let me start by giving our appreciation to you, on behalf of Dr. Sunday and the whole team here. You are such a you're such a wonder. Thank you so much for all that you do. The tireless nights. It's as though you're actually with us here in Ukraine.
Yes, that's right. Dr.
Because
Sunday taught us how to be a workaholic. That's what it is. That's what I am,
Yes,
It's part of me. Even in this quarantine period, this is just a normal life for me, just working. It's just part of me, really. So I'm really excited to be part of the team. Thank you so much.
Eshion, thank you so much. Well, we are very grateful about that. So let's get to meet you, Ms. Adeola. Right. Can you introduce yourself to us? And if you don't mind, just tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and any information you, deem fit for us.
Yes. So, hello, everybody, and welcome. Thank you for being here this evening. So, my name is Adeola Disu, as introduced. I am Nigerian British or British Nigerian.
Same.
So I was born to great parents, Mr. Albert and Mrs. Oyekoyi Adigun. I'm from a polygamous home. My mom was the first wife, and she had 8 children, and I am the baby. I'm the 8th child of the family. My dad he was a bank manager at the National Bank of Nigeria, Broad Street in Nigeria at the time. So he had a scholarship to come to the United Kingdom in the middle 60s. Okay, so he came over with my mom, and during their stay in the United Kingdom, they got pregnant with me, and they gave birth to me in the United Kingdom. I believe, I mentioned earlier, I'm from a polygamous home, so I have a stepmother, and all in all of the children that my dad had, there were 20 of us, and I am the number 15th on the tree. And so they had me here in the United Kingdom, and after he had finished the course that he was sent to United Kingdom for, we went back to Nigeria. So, and then shortly after that, I think I was almost 5 years old, then I lost my mom. My mom passed away.
Wow, at 5?
Yes, at 5. I was nearly 5 years old, so she passed away. And because it's a large family, all of our siblings, the children were split. They took some of us to one of my mom's brother, our uncle. Some of my brothers and sisters went to their home, and then some went to one of my aunties. But I was retained with my dad and 2 of my siblings, our eldest brother and our eldest sister. And then I was in the home there with my mom. With my stepmom, and my other siblings. So and I'm a creative personality. I love the kingdom of God. I believe that I have been sent to this world on a mission, for a purpose, and part of that mission is for me to be born in the United Kingdom. For some reasons I would highlight later on. It's my own personal beliefs, and also I love people. I love God with all of my heart. I am a publisher of a prestigious publication called You Are Valuable magazine, Admire, and I started doing that based on my experience. So I wanted to share some of the things that I experienced when I was growing up, and I wanted to use that to encourage people. So I do that. And I am also, I am obsessed with cleanliness and orderliness.
Yeah, you're obsessed with what again?
Cleanliness.
Cleanliness.
And, yes, and orderliness. Okay.
Okay.
And
Let
I'm
me
a
not
nature.
let me not bring in my psych part into it.
And also, I'm what you would call an addict of nature. I love nature, I love going to the mountains, I just love God's creation in that sense. So that's me in a nutshell, I think. And if anything else,
You
you would hear
share.
about it during the course of tonight, I guess.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you very much for the introduction. I just wanted to maybe ask you some questions as regards your growing up, because
Yes.
losing your mom at 5, that's pretty young,
Yes,
and
that's
growing up in a polygamous family,
yes.
that must have been, I don't know, what was your experience? Was it a tough one for you? How was it? Growing up with your stepmom, in that
Yeah.
polygamous family, and then with your
Yeah.
dad and all of that. What was it for you? How did that impact you, as a child?
Yeah, because we were already a large family, I was not number 15th on the tree.
Yes.
And my dad built this house, okay? So, and we all grew up there. So until my mom passed, when some of us were moved, to aunties and uncles. Um, and as far I didn't remember the events very well, but they relate what it was for me.
Yeah.
Because when my mom passed, the story I heard was that I was so unsettled that sometimes I would run to the backyard of the house, like I saw her, and I would scream that that's her and things like that. They would relate those stories to me.
Yeah.
So, but I didn't right now, I can't remember exactly because it was from that time onwards I can remember from when I was 8 years old onwards. That's
Yeah.
what yeah. So a lot of, stories, because it's a polygamous home and my mom passing, there's a lot of stories that we hear. But for me, it is God who knows what really happened to her, because it wasn't long when we returned back from the United Kingdom that really did happen. But while I was growing up, the things that I want to talk about today is to do with my confidence as a person, my self worth, and my self esteem. Um, in that family, I think you would relate to this because um, they call it discipline, isn't it? When you do something wrong and they're beating you so much. But I used to get beaten a lot. Okay, so even for the littlest thing, that it really did, started to really make me feel so insecure about myself, because I just thought to myself at that age, from 8 onwards, that it's not everything. Sometimes you make mistakes, but it was just like anything I did, I was bitten for it. And I remembered one vividly. This set of cockerel, Pyrex, Pyrex sets. So they use these plates, these cockerels that we use. People would know that.
Yeah.
They're called Pyrex. Yeah.
Maybe we're not born that time.
I think the brand is still trending, in Nigeria, I think so, in Africa, I don't know.
Okay.
But it was used well, we use it in serving. It's usually used at special occasions. We bring them out to serve guests
Okay.
or during maybe special festive seasons and things like that. So anyway, I was asked to wash them after we had probably, I think maybe they served some guests or something like that. So I was asked to wash them. I took them down to the taps downstairs. I washed them. When I was coming back up, I just tripped and smashed the whole set.
That was like,
Now let me tell you what happened. I was bitten naked.
but you were young. You were young. So,
Yeah, I was young and I was bitten naked. So that really helped me. I mean, I was just really like, I just, I didn't know what was wrong, even to explain that I tripped, I couldn't, because um, the traditions and the cultures, you're not right, you are little. So the elders or whoever they are, they are right. So whatever is their decisions or their conclusions, that is what it is. So I had no voice. So I couldn't explain that it was like it was intentionally done, and I was bitten. And from then on, it was the same thing. Any little thing, I would be bitten, I would be slapped, So that really made me insecure. At night, when I sleep, I would just be fearful that, I don't know what else I'm going to do wrong tomorrow that would warrant, this beating. So that went on just like that. But, I went to primary school. It was the same thing. The teachers would beat us so much. There was a time that I think for some reason, we would be given money to buy breakfast.
That's right.
You say, yeah. So I was running late. I was running late because sometimes we had to do some chores, in the house. My stepmom had a kiosk in the front of the house, so we would go and quickly do some little bits of selling and things like that. So this day I was running late for school. So I bought this bread and butter, okay, but I was hungry, okay. So I got to school. I got there on time, I got into class, but because I was so hungry, I had a little bit of the breakfast, there. But that day was a wrong day for me to do that.
Wow.
I was beaten at school. I was reported to my parents at home, and they punished me. The punishment was just on top of one another.
And then
So
he continued at home.
I continued at home because if you're reported at school, they punish you at school and they report you to your parents. And why did you do that? It's all to do with the family's name or whatever. So that just continued. So that was when my insecurity started within me. I was locked inside. I was very fearful. Okay, so all this was happening before I met Dr. Sunday. Okay, so
But before you continue, I just
Yeah.
just hold your thoughts. I'm just trying to hold myself because I'm just thinking about it because for the past like 2-3 months,
yeah,
I've been speaking with a lot of people
yeah,
who have been damaged psychologically.
yeah, yeah,
And the damage that they have, the root cause was from
yeah,
their childhood traumas.
yeah, yeah,
And something that actually cuts across a lot of people I've been speaking with, which are actually most of them are ladies, right?
mm-hmm.
It comes from this, I don't know what word to describe it, this beating and
Yeah,
just
yeah,
from African parents.
yeah,
And and then when I have that conversation, of course I had a fair share of mine, but mine was a little bit different because
right,
my parents were typical African parents that would flog you, and they're
mm-hmm.
always like, don't spare the rod. So they beat you for everything, but then my parents, the good thing is that my mom is a nurse. So after she beats you very well and then you are bleeding, and then what she does is that she comes and then she holds you, she hugs you, say, "Yeah, sorry," or "You're going to bring spirits," or "You're bring the cotton wool," and then she cleans it and then she tells you, "You see, my son, don't do this again, eh? Sorry." So even though I was beaten like most African parents would do, right? But I still kind of had, that love coming. So oftentimes it kind of superimposed the beating. So I really do not have memories of that childhood traumatic experience
Right,
like many people
right.
have. But then when I like engage a lot of people and I'm having conversations, I realize that people are really damaged psychologically.
Oh yeah.
And there was one person I was speaking to recently, and exactly what you were saying was how she described herself. Even she had to bottle up a whole lot of emotions within herself because any little thing she did, she was either beaten, she was she was spoken negatively to, that there's nothing good about you, you're always doing all this wrong by her parents. So it made her so insecure about herself. Her esteem was low. She doesn't trust people. She never wants to be vulnerable with people. She's always so a lot of defense mechanisms that she was coming up
absolutely.
with.
Absolutely, I can relate with that. There was nothing like, in your own case, they would still come back and hug you and, tell you that, just doing, maybe you've learned the lesson. So that there was nothing like that with me. All I know is that I was beaten so much. There was what they call discipline. I think we call here physical abuse.
Yes, assault.
And that, that's right. So assault, yeah. And that had, some people would go through that and it wouldn't affect them because we're all so differently. But it affected me emotionally. Okay, so they might not know that. Even if my siblings were watching this now, or my family members, it was just something. I couldn't even share that. Do you see what I mean? But it was really affecting me inwardly. And the other thing that I experienced while I was growing up was also verbal abuse.
Wow.
So this one, So the verbal abuse that really did crush me, that I went through, was the fact that, when I came on, you say, "Oh, Adeola, you look so beautiful." No, it wasn't the case. Because I would be told there were two things. They would say that I was ugly. This particular person, that I am ugly. And they would tell me that my head was too big. And also, and I apologize for saying this, but I will say it because it would deliver some people. And this is what, when I connected with Dr. Sunday and I started to listen to his series on confidence. Okay, we'll come to that. Okay, so we'll come to that. This is what it did for me because it delivered me. It made me realize who I am and my differences, okay, and that it's okay. Wow. So they would tell me, and I would say this as well. So when we were growing up as young girls, I was so slim and our bust would just grow. So they would tell me, "Have you come to sell that on the earth?" That is the statement. So I looked at myself that something was drastically wrong with me. Wow. So that led to me, I would hide. I wouldn't come to the forefront. I was always quiet and I would prefer to sit at the back. That that followed me till even when I grew up. And there was another statement that was made to me. Okay, I'm going to jump to it because it's related to this. Okay, so when I wanted to marry, one person said to me, and they saw my husband and everything, they said to me that, no, he wouldn't, this kind of person would not marry your type. Listen, okay, that it is because he wants something from you, or it's because he knows that he would gain something from you. And that is in reference to the fact that I am dual nationality, so I'm British. So that is insinuating that it's because maybe you'll be able to come to England. And, they didn't know the relationship between me and Tunde.
Wow.
So that really crushed me, that even in the earlier parts of our marriage, I used to think that maybe this thing is true because I could hear, behind
those
me, my
thoughts,
those thoughts, So those things really locked me in.
Wow.
I tell you. So in the midst of all of this, I jumped actually to
That's
the marriage thing. Okay,
That's right.
So in the midst of that, I grew up. I was just growing in it, but I became very timid. Even listening to, the confidence series is just a really, it's a series that delivered me, honestly, because my mindset, I thought I wasn't good enough for anything.
Wow.
with just those statements. So it's the power of words. I want, parents or even relatives or just people, because there's some of those statements were made to me just by people who are even in the environment, not
Yes.
not you know, and it wasn't said to me once. So it wasn't said to me once, Dr. Anu.
Wow.
So it was a continuous thing that I heard. So I thought that I wasn't one. So I mentioned that about when I wanted to marry my husband, because they thought that no, you can't want to marry you. That is because he wants to gain something from you.
From you.
So that's what they were saying to me when I was younger. Came back to me that, well, maybe I'm not good enough, or maybe that's what it is. But I'll go ahead. I knew that Tunde wasn't like that, in his thoughts.
Wow.
So and that just really did something for me. Now, in the midst of all of that, okay, growing up in my father's house like that, I would see pictorial visions, because there's something about me. I told you that I'm obsessed with an environment being clean
Clean and
and
orderly.
orderliness and things. So my attention will be drawn towards this disorganized community, the residential, the area, the gutters. You know how the gutters are, they're open
Yeah.
and dirts will be in there. And every time, I have this thing where I see things pictorially. I would just see a flash
Because you have a
of some,
creative mind. You said that
yeah.
already.
So I always see that. So that picture will come before me, but then I would see what it would look like in a flash if something was done. But because I was young, I didn't know how the solution,
Yeah.
how that would happen.
To play
But I
out.
would
Yeah.
always say to I would always say to myself, one day I will be able to do something about this. One day. The bathroom in our home is just a floor, and so you go, there's a drain. Okay, you just go and with your bucket of water, and you have your bath and everything. So it was one of my responsibility to clean the bathroom, every morning.
Back home in
So
Nigeria, right?
in Nigeria, yeah, in
Yeah.
Nigeria. So I would be saying to myself, one day I am going to, change all this. I don't know how, because things weren't working. Whether it was the sewage, there was no water, the drainage will be blocked. There will be things. So that bothered me. But I'll be seeing pictures of what it can look like at very young age,
Wow.
10, 11, 12. So that went on with me. But I would say, yeah, one day I'm going to do something. Then I went to boarding school. I finished primary school, and we were living in Lagos, okay? So I gained admission to the federal government girls' college in Potiskum. That was in Borno State. So
And you were
that
based where?
Lagos.
In Lagos. Oh, so you had to go
Yeah.
up north.
So I
Okay.
had to go up north, and that's how my independence started.
Wow.
So I went up north, did my secondary school. As soon as, because it was a new federal government college, okay, I was immediately made a leader. I became the head girl of the school in my first year.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. And that carried on. In the third year, somebody else became the head girl, but I became another prefect for monitoring students in the hostels and things like that, to get people ready. So I immediately they uh, I was placed in leadership straight away. So I
What
started.
they saw something different about you?
They saw
Oh,
something different about me. I didn't see that.
wow.
And I was in charge of all of these people, all of a sudden. I was responsible for making sure that they are, because it's a boarding school, you're making sure that when they get up in the morning, they get up on time, and, they do all the things they have to do their beds, their hostels are all, tidied up and everything. And I started to notice that, because when I was in Nigeria, I mean in Lagos at home, I will be seeing things so disorganized, and I will be seeing picture how we could put
Fix
things
them.
in order. Yeah, to bring order to things. And that's where that started, even though I did not even realize at the time. But immediately I was put into a position to some of the strengths that I have that God had placed inside of me.
Wow.
So fast forward, I finished secondary school. I came back. Well, okay, so let me tell you this as well.
Yeah.
So I finished secondary school. WAEC, yeah,
Yeah.
the WAEC exam, the GCSE here, WAEC exam. So this is a girl that was a child or a girl that was born in the United Kingdom. I did excellently well in all of my exams. I had A's, A stars. I had two B's. But guess what? English language, I failed it outright.
Wow.
So that stopped me from going straight to my A level straight away because I had to repeat. I had to retake that English exam. So I
Yes.
came back to Lagos. So they couldn't bear that. So I was moved to Ibadan. Okay. So I stayed in the western part of Nigeria. I retook that exam again, and I just passed it. Okay. I passed it. But because I failed that exam, it was another trauma. It was another problem.
Wow. What happened?
Because I had to be. No one can say that they could. It was like, I think, maybe like a shame that I failed. I had to repeat the exams, but they could not say it to people. So I was taken to Ibadan and stayed there with my sister there.
They took you, so they told you to leave Lagos because of the
Yeah,
shame that okay, the
yeah. That's
daughter
what.
did not pass the exam, so
Yeah, because I couldn't go forward and they could not say that to people, do you see? So I had to go. I sat the exams. I went and did my A levels at St. Anne's. And then when it came to going, there's this thing about I think the fivefold professions in Nigeria, being a lawyer, all those
doctor,
things, doctor,
engineer,
accountant,
accountant, yeah,
pharmacist, and all of the engineers.
yeah.
Okay. So when it came to that, because my results were not so, and let me tell you, I think it's the impact of the fear that I've had,
Of
the
course, of
insecurity. I
course.
was so insecure. I was very fearful of
Self-doubt.
even repeating, self-doubt. I was very fearful of failing that exams again. There was no confidence. There was just nothing. Anyway, I passed the A levels, and when it comes to a course that I could apply for, guess what I applied for? I applied to do fine arts. And that was enough.
In Nigeria, you want to
It
study
was
fine
like
arts.
fine
You
arts.
don't have any future with that though.
I
That's what they say.
know. These are the comments that I got, okay?
That's
So
what
who can't
Nigerians will
draw?
say.
No, so they started saying, who can't draw? Bring me pen and paper. Bring me pencil and let us show you. So is that what you want to go and do? This one. So they thought I was so unintelligent. But I was convinced within,
You
that is
knew
what I
you
wanted
you
to
knew what
do.
you wanted to do.
Yeah, it was right in me, that is what I should be doing. I was totally convinced. I went in and did that final though, even though it cannot mention, she's in Polytechnic Ibadan, and it cannot be, you cannot, they can't talk about what I'm doing there.
So you
That's how I
fought your way
felt.
through.
Yeah, I just went through and did that. I went in to do what they call OND,
OND,
yeah,
yes. Ordinary.
OND at the Polytechnic Ibadan. Then I came back to Lagos again. I did the HND and specialized in textile print. Okay, but all this while, it was like, oh, I'd lost all confidence in myself because doing fine arts, oh, she's just so unintelligent and things like that. But, I finished that course. And when I finished that course, because I had a vision, Dr. Anu, I had a vision. I went straight to do an exhibition. I did a collection of textile prints.
Yeah.
I printed them and had an exhibition, and it was great. It was just great. So I'm cutting it all short now so that we can get to the main thing about
Yeah.
when I met Dr. Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was great. I did that. And in 1991, my brother decided that he would send me back to England because I already have a dual nationality, so I could live there. And he had a friend here already who had a daughter for him. So I came over. So as soon as I landed, I thought it was like an escape for me to start planning things because then I'd matured a little bit, even
Yeah.
though I was going into, because I had to repeat my WIAC exams and things like
Mm-hmm.
that. So age was not on my side,
Side.
because it wasn't smooth. Yeah. So as soon as I got to the United Kingdom, they put me on some job. I did some job, it wasn't in my part, but I just thought I needed to start, adding value to myself. What I
That's
know
right.
now, I didn't call it adding value, but adding value to myself. So I enrolled for a free course that the government was doing at that time. It was information technology. And from there, after doing that 3 months course, I decided because I wanted to prove myself that I wasn't unintelligent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I wanted to prove myself so much. So I enrolled myself into university.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I wanted to prove that I could go to university. But I was just doing that I was crying out that I'm not stupid,
Mm.
I'm not that dumb, that doing fine arts doesn't mean that I'm dumb. It's something that I am convinced within that I am supposed to do, you see. So I enrolled to this university, the University of Leeds. I started working at night at what we call Royal Mail. It's a mail sorting office here, the
Mm-hmm.
Royal Mail. So I will work at night and then I will go to uni during the day.
Wow.
Yeah. So I did that and life happened, you know, because I was getting older. As I was getting older, they get worried that,
The
oh,
pressure,
you're a woman,
marriage.
yeah. Some men were being introduced to me because they were thinking that I was going in my late 20s and there was nobody forthcoming. But I just said, I've got somebody. But then I met Sunday when I was doing my HND in Nigeria. Do you see? We
That's
met at college there.
Mr. Tunde is your husband, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sure
Mr. Tunde is my husband. Tunde Disu is my husband. Yeah.
people might not
So I
know that.
met him there. Yeah, I left for England, but it was still in Nigeria. But they were introducing us of persons to me because I still think that they felt like he wanted to just that he
Use you.
loved me because
Mm-hmm.
of what he could gain from my being a British citizen.
Mm-hmm.
But our relationship just waxed strong. Um,
He was in
so,
Nigeria himself.
pardon? Yeah, he was in Nigeria. Sorry, is that what you
Yeah, yeah,
asked
yeah.
me?
He was in
Yeah,
Nigeria.
yeah, he was in Nigeria. Yeah. So that went on. And then in my second year, we tried to get him to England. I was already part of a church then in Bradford. I've already part of a church, and they were always asking me as well, about him, about a man in my life and things like that. So I would tell them that I've got this gentleman here and things like that. Anyway, we would apply for my husband to come. Well, my husband now. Then it was just my fiance then,
Mm-hmm.
because he had already asked that if I would marry him and things like we had agreed on that. So there was nothing forthcoming. The British embassy wouldn't give him a visa to come over. So I had to go to Nigeria, but it was also a big wahala, about that because they were introducing people to me. They wanted me to just different kind of men. Try this person, try that person. I said, no, I can't just try somebody. It's not my fault now. I have
Mm-hmm.
to, if I'm going to be married, I gotta marry somebody that I love.
Yeah.
You see, somebody at least that I'm attracted to. And this
Mm-hmm.
is the person. Oh, he just wants to take advantage of you and whatever. Anyway, eventually, I had to go to Nigeria one week Went to Nigeria, got to the embassy. They checked all my papers and they just released him, you know,
Wow.
just to go. Now I cut all that short because I want to come to the point where I met Dr. Sunday. Okay. So
Good.
life happened, Dr. Anna. Life happened. Okay, Tunde arrived here. We got married. I was in my third year at the university. I was a mature student. I was third year. So we got married, and just before I finished, I was pregnant with our son, our firstborn, Orelua. So at that point, because I had all these dreams, all these aspirations about life, at that point, when I got pregnant, you know, when you get pregnant, that's it. You are now home to look after the kids and the family. So I lost all hope. This brings us to the title of today's testimony. I lost all hope about everything I had dreamed of coming to pass in my life.
But that's interesting. How is the connection between your hopes and your dreams for the future with the you getting pregnant and you having your child? Why did you lose
Yeah.
hope?
Yeah, because at that time I didn't have an understanding, because I thought that when you are pregnant as a wife, because of the traditions,
And the
the world,
worldview.
the world views, the traditions, and the church, and also me, because of everything I'd gone through in my when I was
Childhood.
younger, I thought I would not allow I was begging God that, please God, let me be alive to raise my kids. I would not let anyone, any of these my kids, experience what I did, experience what I experienced when I was growing up. So when I got pregnant, I thought that was the end, that I'll be, dedicated to just raising a family, and I wouldn't have time, you see, to pursue the dreams and vision that I had. The vision, one, with regards to cleaning Nigeria and bringing about a solution to the disorganized environment that I had, okay, that we had then. Surulere was just really a mess, and I was just looking at, that would never be possible. All of the pictorial visions that I would see of a possible solution to the issues, I just thought that had ended, because now, when I got married, I was almost 30. I was going to be 30 the next year, because we married in December. So I was 29. I was going to be 30, okay, the next year. So I thought that was all over, because when you start having your family, there's just nothing. You have to be, as a wife, from that cultural and traditional worldview,
Yeah.
as a wife, you have to stay home to raise your children. Yeah, so I thought I'd lost all hope. So I was just thinking that, oh, well, this is probably my fate, FATE, that's it. That all I can just do is to raise the children and encourage them, not put my own dreams and aspirations on them, but to raise them and help them to, not be so late like I was, and then ended up in just marrying, getting married, and now no no future. So I just thought, okay, you're just in the family, you just take care of them, you raise them, because by the time you raise them, you'll be older anyway. I'm in my 50s, that there's no way that you could fulfill all of those dreams. But then I used to think of the scriptures that says that Abraham was called at 75. So I then used to think that it's not too late. That I think it's not too late for me to still pursue my dreams. But I never knew how. So let me fast forward now. So we've had.
But before you fast forward, I think I understand you very well. Just paying close attention to your story,
Yeah.
because we're cumulative of our life experiences and the things that we go
Yes.
through life, and
Yeah.
most times the experiences that we have as children, in our child experiences, they go with us up till even our adult life, to when we get married and
Yes.
all of that. So
Yeah.
I think I understand following your story, because the traumatic experiences that you had as a child, having the verbal and physical abuse, that affected you psychologically. It affected your esteem and all of that.
Yes, that's right.
And then you having to like go through all of those emotional turmoil and those battles in your mind, and then you trying to just prove to yourself that you're not all of those
Yeah,
negative things they've said
absolutely.
to you. Because
Yes.
I asked you what was the connection between your hopes and you having a child. But
Yes.
then, as you continued speaking, I had a very clear picture, because the
Yeah.
very reason why you got to the university was because you were trying to prove to yourself, like you
Yes.
said, that
And yeah.
you're not stupid, you're not all of those things that they said you
Yeah.
actually were,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
smart, you could actually become. So this
Yeah.
was you on your journey to prove to yourself that
Yes.
you
And to
could,
them as well.
and to them as well too, yes, to
Yeah.
prove to
Yeah.
yourself and to them as well that you can be who you want to be. And
Yeah.
then the child comes in, and because of the worldview that you've had, as a Nigerian,
Yeah.
as an African, that okay, when you
Yeah.
have a child, now your
And
life is
also my
gone.
fears.
And also
And
your
also my
fears,
fear.
and
Yeah.
also your fears. So all of these things, just came together to you losing
Yeah.
hope, and like, okay, maybe
Yeah.
after all, maybe I won't be able to achieve all that I
That's
really
right. Yeah.
desire to achieve. And
Yes.
I think this is a very good juncture for us to really to pass across some very strong and valid lessons from your story.
Yes.
Personally, I'm going to share mine, and I'll allow you to also share yours. Some very important lessons that you want people to
Yeah.
learn from just
Yeah.
what you've said up to this point.
Yes.
And I would start by saying that I think it's high time, that parents understand the power of their words,
Uh-huh. That's
as
it.
regards the creation of the reality of a child. Because
Yes.
just like what you talked about, the words that people spoke to you, your parents spoke to you, the people who were around you, all of those
Yeah.
words, they were creating your perception of yourself. It was
Yeah,
creating
that's
how
right.
you saw yourself. It was creating
Yeah.
your world, within
Yes.
you.
Yes.
And those things don't just go by, the flip of a finger, all of that.
No, 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 no.
Those things go with you for years, unless you actually, like, sometimes it takes you actually going to a shrink, or going to a psychotherapist, or going to a psychologist, or going to to have to like unravel all of those things
That's
that have
right.
been.
Yeah.
And it's major, because that's my field. That's something that I'm really interested in, and I see how all of these things that many parents don't even pay attention to really,
Yes.
really damage the
Yeah.
whole world. It's like you're literally damaging the world of your child. And
Yeah, that's right.
there's no child deserves that. Let's just put it right there. There's no,
Yeah.
if you're going to bring a child to the world, then don't make that child suffer. Why
Yeah.
why should a child go through all of that traumatic experiences, those
Yeah.
psychological abuses? No,
Yeah.
they don't deserve
Yeah.
it. I think it's
Yeah.
better you just don't bring them into the world if you're going to allow them go through all of these things.
That's
Because
right.
these things get, and I'm saying, because these things, I've seen stories and I've heard stories and I've seen people,
Yeah.
it goes from their very childhood to their
That's
to their
right.
marriage. That affects their marriage.
Yeah,
It affects
yeah,
their
absolutely.
parenting. It affects everything about their whole life. And coming to a society like Nigeria or Africa, where we don't even pay much attention on mental health, that is a whole different ballgame entirely. Because
Yeah.
being in the Western nations, they pay close attention on your mental health, and why you have
That's
to be
right. Yeah.
why you have to be healthy mentally. But coming to
Yeah.
a place like Nigeria, where on a daily basis there's this physical and verbal abuse happening
Yeah,
every
absolutely.
day, and then
Absolutely.
we are surprised. Why do we have people who are miscreants on the road? Why do we have people who are just easily triggered?
Yeah.
Why do we have people who are
Yeah.
easily sentimental? Why do we have people who
Yeah,
are broken, who
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
because it all starts
It's
from this place.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. You're just really spot on, Dr. Anu, because in Africa, it's like it's like nothing to them. Let me just tell you that worldview, because, like I said earlier, they think that they are disciplining you. They think that they are forming you and
Hmm.
shaping you, and these things do affect even people's differently. But in my own case, a lot of people, they internalize these things, and it forms their character. It affects how their character is being formed, their
Yes.
behaviors and
Yes.
everything.
Yes.
So, and that is what I experience. And the reason why I am coming out to say this is because, and I was even overprotective over my kids,
Yes.
because,
Yes.
yeah, I was being overprotective of my kids because I didn't want them to experience what I experienced, and how these negative things had impacted me,
Yes.
because I was so insecure on the inside.
And that's
You
because you're an informed woman. That's because
Yeah,
you're coming from an informed position, because
yeah,
you wanted to break that cycle. But I tell you the
yes, I wanted to
truth,
break it. Yeah,
many
that's right.
many people are not informed.
Yeah,
I spoke with a lady, and she was telling me
hmm,
personally her own story.
yeah,
How a mother was treating her.
okay,
I mean, with sometimes I'm just blown away by it.
yeah,
And then
yeah,
she started questioning her mother, that why you
hmm,
treating me that way? Why
yeah,
why are you making me feel like I'm not your daughter? Like you just got me
hmm,
from the gutter or
hmm,
something. And then the mother
hmm,
began to explain that, hey, I'm sorry, that was exactly what my mother did to me, and that was the only
yeah,
way. That was,
yeah,
I mean, what I'm doing to you is the only way I understand motherhood. What I'm doing
yeah.
to you is
So
the
it's
only
a
way.
worldview.
It's a
Yeah,
worldview. So
yeah,
so that whole cycle, keeps going on and
yeah,
on and on like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
So
yeah,
even you deciding to wanting to break that cycle was because you're
mhm,
coming from a vantage point, because you had gotten understanding and you didn't want to repeat the
yeah,
cycle. But
yeah. I didn't want to repeat the cycle. I've not even met Dr. Sunday at this point, but I'd come back to England, you see. So I was in a church where I saw how family grew. Even when the kids did something wrong, it was not just by beating them. So my understanding had already started changing. Do you see what I mean? But
yeah,
I was still being overprotective over my kids. I was thinking in my mind that they would not have to go through this. And I would beg God that, please do not take me, just like my mom, passed away when I was young. Please do not let that happen to me. And I lived in that fear. Let me tell you something.
wow,
I
wow,
lived in that fear every day. I will always pray those kind of prayers. And that's it. I just want to, the reason why I'm just saying all of these stories is just to encourage, because you don't know how your negative words, and even positive, how it affects. They're very powerful. Even the Bible talks about the fact that we'll be judged by the words that we
that we
speak,
speak.
that
Yes,
we say. So it's very vital that we say the right things. Just like, even, God doesn't, even when Adam and Eve committed, he still did something to still protect them. He
yeah,
didn't curse them. He cursed the ground for their sake. So they should, and also an understanding. I said I was going to talk about the cultural worldview,
yeah, yeah.
where
Please talk
to
about
to
that.
even yeah to even hear the child's point of view. In that culture, when you are young, the ones who are older than you, whether they are wrong or they are right, whether they are wrong or they are right, they have the say.
Their
It
opinion
doesn't
is
really matter
final.
your opinion, yeah.
Yeah,
And that is the same thing that we experience in the religious worldview, where only one person has the say. It's whatever he says, whether the Papa says, and it's all stemming from the cultures, the traditions, the families, what they believe. And that's what it is. And that is what has caused so much damage, do you see,
yeah.
in our culture, in Africa, in Nigeria, especially, if we narrow it down to there.
Wow.
So that was what was going on within me, Dr. Anu. And um, I was thinking that I could still do something, but I didn't know how.
Yeah.
Okay, so and also, in order that I still stay at home to look after my children, is what led me to set up the business. I'm a creative personality, so I set up something that I could do
From
from home,
home.
so that I don't have to give my kids to someone to look after. So I set up a business to give graphic design services. I didn't even want to do graphic design when I was at college. I
Wow.
escaped it, but it's what I am actually doing now, because I specialized in textile prints, you know. So I
Yeah.
didn't want to do that. My interest was in print, but it's what I'm doing. But I set that business up because of my fears.
Hmm.
You know, we had to pay bills and everything. So I wanted something that I could do from the house. I could provide that service from the house. So that was how that came to be. So things just went on like that.
Yeah.
Um, because I had in me that, Abraham was called at 75. I've not even heard Dr. Sunday now. I've not heard about, the KFC gentleman that started his business in the 60s and, Coco Chanel in the 70s. I've not even heard about all of that. The one thing that's always revolved around my mind was the fact that Abraham was called at 75, so I could still do something. So every now and then, this vision, especially the one about cleaning Nigeria, is what I call it now, was always coming before me. So I knew that there was something there,
Yeah.
So this afternoon, well, I'd heard about Dr. Sunday before. Okay, but I wasn't paying attention then. That was when my kids were very little. We would just see him on a cable TV that we had then in the north of England, So I would just see
What year was that?
when I was having my kids. Oriel was born 1997, 1999. I was just seeing some things about the Embassy of God Church. We would just see, all of those videos that we see now. Some of them were on this on that Christian cable channel then. So, but I wasn't paying attention to anything, the interpretation, but I was raising the kids. So, to fast forward, then sometimes, in 2016, because I was unsettled within, okay, about this thing. So I kept saying to my husband that I need to start a kind of, I didn't know, call it a movement then. I was just saying that I want to start, I want to open a page on Facebook, and I want to gather people, Africans in the diaspora, and I want to, just so that they can submit a kind of skill, just to start some sort of conversation around how we can do something about Africa. This was just the dream that was still, in my heart, because it was just there. Okay, so this thing was still in my heart. So this afternoon, it was a Saturday afternoon. It was in the summer of 2016. And I was talking to Tony. I said, I want to open this Facebook page, and I'm going to call it Submit a Skill, is what I called it. And as we were having that conversation, he was getting ready to go out. We were having that conversation. A text came through on my phone. I don't normally pick up, text or anything, because I was still talking and all this thing. But for some reason, there was a link to it, and I pressed that link. Okay, I clicked on it, and guess, Dr. Sunday was there talking about Nigerian Transformation Project.
Really?
Yeah, that was it. I was talking to my husband about setting up this page on Facebook.
And at that same moment.
So that was a turning point in my life
That
with
was
regards
God.
to what the things I'm called to do. Because I was just like, wow. I said, look at this. Look at this man. Then I remembered his face, you see, because I remembered what we used to see on the cable TV.
Yeah.
So we're just like, look, it's National Nigerian Transformation Project. How cool is that? I mean, we're just talking about.
Yeah, that is definitely God.
Yeah. So from that point on, afterwards, I clicked on the link and we looked at it. My husband went out. So I thought I would write an email.
Yeah.
But I wrote that email because I was excited. I just thought that must be God saying something to me. I don't know. So I wrote him an email, but I was not expecting that he would respond. I was expecting that maybe because it was the weekend, it was a weekend. It was in August, September or something like that. So I was expecting that his assistant or secretary was what I thought at the time would respond. But guess so, Dr. Sunday responded to me. When he
Wow.
responded to me and my religious mind, I thought, no, it cannot be him.
Yes, yes.
So I thought that no way, it cannot be him. That it would probably be a secretary or
Yeah.
something. Now, at this time, this was 2016. I fast forward. At this time, we had joined a religious church.
Got it. Got
Okay,
it.
so I was part of Winners. I
Mm-hmm.
was already doing, things and Winners. We were there. My husband was working there. So and I just thought, no way, because I know how the system works in this church. So it
Mm-hmm.
is not him who has responded. Then so I think he did not get a response from me because I just froze. I just thought, oh, Tunde, we have to be back. We have to, I'm going to show this to him.
Yeah.
So then he responded that I responded to you. I'm waiting. Oh.
Like I sent you a message, you've not replied.
So I responded to him that me and my husband, when my husband returned, we would contact him. I sent him something that I was doing. There was a magazine that I was planning. It was
Mm-hmm.
something to do with Nigeria or Africa.
Yeah.
So, and I'll fast forward from there, we arranged a Skype call. And, we were so excited that I just started to talk about the vision and everything, what was going on in my mind and everything. So I said, no, 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 just slow down, slow down. Let me know you first. Let's talk about each other. Let's talk about.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, and that was how I met him. I like to share that story because that is, because of the things that God had placed on my heart with regards to Nigeria. That was how I connected. Now, there was still some deep work that needs to be done in me. Remember, I was insecure.
Yeah.
I had lacked self-confidence.
Yeah.
There was no self-esteem. All of those things were lying down there, So I started to listen to his messages online. He'd come online.
Yeah.
And then he did this series on self-confidence.
Confidence. Hmm.
And that was it, man. That
Wow.
was what, changed me. I was
Wow.
somebody, I don't speak like this. I don't normally speak like this.
Hmm.
In front of, I'm on the camera, I'm live to everyone, I wouldn't normally do that because I was just too insecure. I would always be thinking of what people would think
Think
about
about
me,
it.
how they would judge me, if what I'm saying is right or wrong. Who wants to hear me? What I'm saying is stupid anyway. Nobody, wants to
Yeah.
hear anything. I've got to contribute to anything,
Hmm.
So it was that message, and I remember it vividly. It said that your difference
Hmm.
needs to be celebrated, needs to be
Beautiful.
respected,
Beautiful.
And that's your difference. You should use it to bless other people. That
That's
it is
right.
God who has made you that way. It
Yeah.
is God who has uniquely created you. He customized you. He packaged you the
Yes.
way you are. So I began to understand that it didn't matter what the opinion of people are about me. Do you see what I mean? Whether
Yeah.
it's my physique or the way they thought about how I did anything, this was the creativity of God that Adeola will be created this way.
Beautiful.
Whether it's the shape of our
My
head or
head.
the shape of our body, whatever it is, it was the joy of God to create me this way,
Beautiful.
you know.
Beautiful.
And
Powerful.
part of the things I'm doing now is to help people discover that.
Beautiful.
Did you see?
Yeah.
To Especially Africans, because we women, it's like I don't know. In those traditions, they say that you follow what it is that your husband. The reason why they are all, you know, I think scrambling to get husbands is because they say that the man is the head and you are not complete
Mm-hmm.
without
About
being
him.
married. That was the reason why they were suggesting men to me, because they wanted me to be married anyway,
Mm-hmm.
that so that I would be complete. And When you go to your husband's house, you stay there, and he's the head. Is what he does. So you don't have a life or your
Wow.
own.
Wow.
Jeremiah demystified that, but
Hmm.
that your destiny is connected to that man. Mother Teresa, demystified that.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
all of that was going on. So I am somebody through the truth. I don't even know about time, because I wanted to talk about the truth, non-truth,
Oh,
and
you.
lies that we are
Yeah.
being told. In the religious worldview and the cultures and traditions, the environment that we grew up in, especially in Nigeria. Do you see, Dr. Anu? So all of that was what it is. So the difference, God made me, because when you look at flowers, for instance, the rose is totally different from a flower called bougainvillea, and they are all unique. This
Yeah.
is what Dr. Sunday was talking about in that series,
Yes.
that your uniqueness needs to be celebrated. You
Beautiful.
know, that was the awesomeness of God, and that is my passion.
Wow.
Okay,
Wow.
that is
Wow.
my passion now, because a lot of people, especially women, don't know that. It's like, whatever it is, just put your head down in your husband's house. But Jeremiah said, even before my parents came together, before they even, fell in love to do anything,
Yeah.
God already knew me, and he had packaged me. It's seen a problem on the earth, and he packaged Adeola for that portion on the earth, so that I can go and resolve that problem. And
Powerful.
that's what, yeah, this is what
Powerful.
I am here for. So now I know who I am, doctor.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
I'm excited about who I am. It doesn't really matter what anybody thinks about me. Dr. Sunday's voice of
Yeah.
truth reignited hope in me, you
Beautiful.
know, and that I could start anything at whatever age. I might be 50 plus. It doesn't really matter. Age does not actually really matter. It is my purpose that is more important.
Awesome. Awesome.
You know.
Awesome.
So that is what is fired in my bones right now. So the day I met Dr. Sunday and began to listen to his voice of truth,
Truth.
when I say his voice of truth, I mean his teachings, the messages that he passionately teaches just to deliver people. Deliverance is not what all the gimmicks in the religious world be, what they do there. Do you see what I mean? Uh,
Yeah.
it's not that at all. Do you see? And I'm here to even speak to this religious sects, because when I was at this religious organization, they would say that, oh, that you should, that the skills that you have, the abilities that you have is supposed to be used to do service within that ministry. Do you
Within
see
the
what I mean?
church.
And
Within.
I was buying into it, that God's timing is the best. The skills that He has given you is for you to come and do service in the church. They don't tell you about the fact that you were, destined. You were called. You have a calling upon your life. There is a problem on the earth that God created you for
So.
to solve. Do you see?
Wow.
So all of that. So I'm speaking to the people who are still thinking, oh, God's timing is the best. No, God's timing is now. Because
Powerful.
everything that you need to fulfill your life is already packaged in you. You only need to discover it. Pastor Sunday was doing Who Am I and Why Am I Alive mentorship the other day. Everybody needed to be there to discover, especially the religious people. Because you don't have to pray. Doctor, let me tell you something. People are praying day and night for God to reveal to them their purpose in life,
Life.
or my calling in life, or whatever. I want to bust their bubble. So this is what I believe. God is not listening, no, because He had already packaged you. He is not listening.
So they are
I
wasting
don't
their
believe.
time.
Yeah, yeah. I don't believe that you need to pray that long. Already, because Mark Zuckerberg didn't pray to nobody. Let me just tell you right now. It was the thing on the inside of him. He went and created Facebook. And look at where it is today. Look at all those people, Warren Buffett, all of these people, Bill Gates. Look at Dr. Sunday Adelaja. You don't need to be praying. People, they will say pray at one time of the night. I mean, pray at this time of the night. It is some people that are standing on your way. There is a barrier. There is this and that. No, there is nothing like that. Because no one, when you discover your calling, no one can stop your destiny from being fulfilled. Beautiful. If you are ready to,
Powerful.
Begin to run the race that God has called you to.
Powerful.
I don't know what it is. The parable of the talents even said it all. The master gave them their talent, so it doesn't also really matter. To the people who say, oh, I can only do this. It doesn't matter how many talents you have. The one is enough. You just need to go and cultivate it. Do you see what I mean? Yeah. You just need to go and cultivate, discover it. It's what I call, I'll talk about something that I'm planning. There's a book called Discover Your Personalized Wealth.
Beautiful.
These are all the things that are inside of you that you don't even know. You're going all night for every single night of the week. Thank God for quarantine. All that has not been taking place now, and thinking God is not answering that. He's already done everything. He's already put everything that you need for life.
He has answered it already.
He has answered it already. So he's not listening. He just wants you. It's just like the guy who went to hid his talents now. And when the master came back, he even took the one that he had got and gave it to the one that did something with his. This is what Mark Zuckerberg has done. Wow. So they were not praying. So it's the same thing. We need to rise up, man.
Yeah.
I'm so excited because I was part of this mentorship. So I don't want to go into the mentorship thing. I don't know if you want to say something.
No, we're definitely going to get to that momentarily. But before we get into that part, the many things you say that are very, very strong and very powerful. And you're not the first or second person that we've had come live on these life transforming testimonies to talk about the impact of the series on self-confidence. And I said that to say this, that everyone who is listening right here, who is listening to us, who has issues with complexes, with esteem, with confidence, I just want to encourage you, because that is one series that would bring you real deliverance. Just like what Mrs. Disu said, it's not about someone making you fall down and stand up and all of that. This is true deliverance. This is deliverance from all of those complexes, deliverance from all those negative thoughts, negative ideas, negative words that that people have said to you, that has diminished your self-confidence, that has made you develop all those self-doubt and all of that. So this is actually available, and you don't have to pay a dime for it. People pay thousands of dollars to visit shrinks and psychotherapists to help them with their self-esteem. But look at this amazing lady speaking to us today. Look at the joy, emanating from her. You can see she has a boldness, the confidence, everything is back. And she didn't have to pay a dime to any shrink.
No, not at all.
Because it's the truth. The Bible talks about the truth, and the truth has in itself the power to set one free.
Yeah.
What that means is, take for example, just before you got to listen to the teachings of Dr. Sunday on self-confidence, you were bound to all of those negative thoughts. That you were just in that box, and you needed freedom, and all you just needed was just the truth that was going to bring that freedom to you, that will help you, see yourself in a whole new light, appreciate yourself, love yourself, look at yourself as someone who is unique, special. There is absolutely no one like you, no one who can be like you, so you are unique all by yourself. So when you listen to those kind of teachings and those kind of truth, and that's why I really love your title for today, that Dsa'S voice of truth. It's not so much about him, but the voice of truth that is coming from him. That's it. That brings the freedom, And I'm just sitting down here listening to you, and I can't even, I can't try. I can't even, bring the picture of you ever being not self-confident, I can't bring it together. I can't align them together. That someone
Doctor, I know, let me just tell you, I was even trying to, I've been trying to put them together, as we started, and it was just going this way and that way. I'm trying to even shorten them, and jump in from here to there, because I wanted to get to this place that we're at right now.
Yes.
Because I'm a changed person.
Beautiful.
And it doesn't really matter what anybody says.
That's right.
I know who I am now.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
I knew those things. I knew that there was something on the inside of me before I came on to join, to be a part of the Who Am I and Why Am I Alive mentorship course. Okay. So, but I wanted to, affirm that in me. Yes. So I thought I was going to go then, and I discovered the one big thing. Man, that just really rocked my world. I was so pumped after that course that, you can do this, Adeola, you can do this.
People need to experience what you just experienced, because that mentorship course is one in a lifetime. I mean,
yes, absolutely.
Everybody needs to go through that course, because like you rightly said, it's a course that you just have to get that course.
Yeah.
And it's just a one-time course, just one-time course, but it's one that would definitely help you, discover yourself in a whole new life.
Yeah, because it's going to set you, because there are some people, I mean, they are successful. There was, when we were advertising the Millionaire Secret
mentorship group.
Mentorship, there was one testimony there where a pastor, he had pastored for so long, I think he was in his 60s then, and then he realized that he's been doing the wrong thing. That is what you don't want to happen.
What a tragedy, to be successful in the wrong thing.
Yeah, that's right. So even when you go back to God, He would say, you passed the exams in physics, 100%, but I did not ask you to do the exams of physics. It was mathematics. Do you see what I mean? Wow. So you were absolutely excellent at doing something right, but doesn't necessarily mean that is what you have been created to do. Sure, you see what I mean?
Yes.
And that is what it is. That is why it's so important that people go through that course, so that you can go. It wasn't that I did not know that I have these things on this, but I needed to go and go through that course, so that I can confirm that what I am thinking is my calling is actually what God has called me to do.
Beautiful.
So it helped me. It gave me clarity, and to be able to analyze that, this is what I need to be doing. Doctor?
Yes.
This is what I need to be doing. And this is what I need not to be doing.
Beautiful.
So all those things, the differences that I had, that people criticized me for, that course will help you to know how to harness it.
Yeah.
And use it to your advantage, because those are your uniqueness.
You won't be scared of criticism anymore. When people,
no.
When people tell you, this is something about you, like, thank you, you just helped me now.
That's right.
Thank you. You will say thank you, please. Any more. Yeah, keep on saying it. And that's so beautiful. I want to just say this to our viewers who are listening to us, and who might be curious on how they can get this course. You can actually get this course today if you're interested in it, because it's a one-time course. You just need to write to us at mentorship@godembassy.org. That is the course you can see on your screen. It's the Who Am I, Why Am I Alive mentorship course. It's a course that everyone who is living on planet Earth has to go through. You have to just get it, because I mean, what is the whole essence of life if you don't know the reason why you are alive?
Yeah.
There's really, I mean, you lose the very value of life, because you don't know why you're here. So please, anyone who is listening to us right here, and you want to, be fortified, and you want to have, 100% clarity on why you're here, why God has created you on earth, and how to do it, what you need to do to fulfill your calling. You want to go right to us at mentorship@godembassy.org, and then we'll help you on how you can get the mentorship course. But guess what, Mrs. Disu, I'm still very much interested in even more of your testimonies and more of, how Dr. Sunday's voice of truth, reignited hope in you.
Yes. That's right. So, you know what is teaching on truth, non-truth,
Non-truth and lies.
and lies. I mean, that was just what I call off the chain. And I think that this is something that I don't know, Dr. I know, because I've been thinking of how we can actually repackage that series to break it down so that people can really understand. Okay, so you can identify if they say that something is truth, we can say we know, and we can say we know lies. If somebody is lying, but
Yeah.
you see the one in the middle, the
The non-truth.
non-truth, that is where deception lies, as far as I'm concerned. So that is where all the religious, for instance, religious worldview, even the culture, but I want to narrow into the religious,
Worldview.
worldview on that. So the non-truths, they present it as truth. Okay. So say for instance with regards to sowing and reaping, or even the I think the tithes and offering and
Mm-hmm.
things like that. Do you see? So yeah, God loves the cheerful giver.
That's right.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Loves the cheerful giver, but yeah, he loves a cheerful giver, and he's not enforcing you
To
to
give.
give out of not having anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Because some people even encourage that you put something on the credit card, that God will bless that. That the lies about sowing and reaping.
Mm-hmm.
You see, I'm going to merge it together, this sowing and reaping thing, with the millionaires mentorship, with understanding
The
the
laws.
truths, the
Mm-hmm.
laws and principles of money. Okay. So all the lies about when you sow into the man of God, or you sow into something. I used to pay tithes on my business. They say that it's a business tithe or something like that. And I was really like, okay, my business
Boom.
is going to boom. But it's not truth,
Hmm.
because truth is universal.
Yeah.
Truth is absolute, Abby.
Yeah. Truth is absolute.
Yeah. So, but that is not truth. It's not universal. Because when I go back to Mark Zuckerberg again, he didn't sow no seed.
Or who is he paying his tithe to?
Or who is he paying tithe to? They're not paying tithe. And the thing about tithe is to help the poor. And if the poor is poor, where will he get money to pay tithe? God is not that wicked now.
Yep.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So all those deceptions are in there. And this is what that religious, because I was very active at doing everything the man of God says, and it's not questionable.
Yes.
It's not questionable, sir.
Yes.
And if it's not happening, I have a very inquisitive mind. Let me tell you, even in the midst of what happened to me, I just love to question things, but I didn't have a voice.
Hmm.
So I would try things. Because if you say something to me now that, okay, if you sow, let's say, sow this seed, the 100-fold and 60-fold and all of those stuff,
Yeah.
because we did it for so many years, okay, and nothing is coming, because they feel that is what you need to do, and then your service to God.
Yeah.
Yeah, that all of that with what I don't know how they describe faith, or I don't know what they mean by faith, or because all of that with your faith. Because if you complain that, okay, I've been doing all these things for so many years, okay,
Yeah.
and I'm not seeing the results, they will say, oh, you need to develop your faith more. It's because you're not. I'm saying that I'm in this church because I have faith in what you have said. It will happen based on what you are teaching from the word of God. So how will I add more faith to myself?
Hmm.
I can't see that. So while we were at this organization, I would always question my husband, though. This thing is not happening. Because you can't question it there. When you question it there, they say that you are doubtful. Do you
Hmm.
see? And
Yeah.
that if you talk about it, they will say that you are murmuring. So when my And you know what happened to some people that were swallowed up on the ground because they were murmuring?
And you don't want to be swallowed up.
Yeah. Or maybe the one that criticizes and the sheep bear came to eat them up. Well, I used to say to Tunde that Tunde is my husband. I used to say to Tunde that, if the sheep bear comes to the front of our door, you have to rescue me from it.
Yeah.
So all of these things, I just used to question it because we were not seeing results, man. We were not seeing no result. We were sowing. We would go early in the morning for, when the Shiloh is finished and you go the early in the morning for the prophetic, whatever. Nothing was happening that way. But, it is well. We would always say it is well because you don't want to be deemed as complaining or murmuring, like they say, so you just say it is well, yeah, it is well, it is well.
You are next in line.
Yeah, you're next in line. The heavens will open upon you, but nothing was happening. So I would, Tony gets home really late. Even working there was just really something. It was really rocking our family, at the time because there was no time. They work you so hard, Anyway, so he would come and I would be asking, this thing is wrong, it's not happening. Oh, we just continue, They would just say, oh, just continue. Then the next year you will see a whole list of programs. They plan everything and you have to run with it. And when you get towards the end of the year, they will say you just have to give God thanks anyway. That in your praise, all of these things will happen. God is not a liar that you should not, or whatever, even all of this, they are quotes,
False hopes.
Yeah, false hopes. So all of that was going on, but nothing was happening money-wise. So I am privileged to be part of, I'm grateful, Dr. Sunday, to be part of the Millionaires Secret Mentorship Group.
Why?
In that mentorship group, your eyes will open.
Was going to say your koro eyes.
Eyes, yeah. You will know, you will learn the principles of money, what money is, how money, because everything is centered in those places. Everybody wants money. Everybody wants to be rich,
Yeah.
And those people, because they gather all up, and we give something, and we give thanks and give it, they are rich because we are present.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
But all of us, we're all hoping that we will be like him.
But you're giving your money to him and everything to him.
Yeah. I think people don't even see it that way. So it's a sowing and reaping thing, but it doesn't work like that. There's something about money that you need to learn. You need to retain money. Well, first of all, to those people who just sow, even go and borrow to sow seed or sell it. Do you know that I sold something? I sold one of my equipment. No, I didn't sell it. I donated it. One of my business equipment for boom in my business. It did not work.
You did not it was a seed. You did not get your fruits back. What if you not get your fruit back? You could go back and get your seed now.
No,
back.
they would have sold it.
I don't get. I didn't get the fruits now, so let me get my seed back.
No, Doctor, no, that thing, non-truth.
Deception.
Deception
broad daylight robbery.
Yeah. And everybody is running. When Dr. Sunday points out all of these atrocities, you know it, all the criticism and everything, but they're trying to deliver you. They are trying to deliver you from slavery, man, from the deception. It's called non-truth. It is painted as truth.
Yeah.
Yes, God loves a cheerful giver, but if you don't have it, I don't know what else. So I have been thinking about how to repackage this thing.
Speaking of repackaging there's an app coming out. I don't know if we have the banner of the app. So there's the DSA vintage DSA app that is coming out very soon.
Yeah.
And you talk about repackaging. It's like you can see what is going to happen, because in this app, Dr. Sunday has a plan that the world has not seen before.
That's right.
Because this vintage DSA app that's coming out,
Yeah.
there's going to be, I don't know if it is right for me to say this out, but you know that all those repackaging things that you talked about,
Yeah.
is going to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Exciting.
people should just be on the lookout for the app when
That's right.
when it's out, and you can follow the vintage DSA social media networks. You know, just like
Yeah.
the Facebook or the
Yeah,
Twitter, all
yeah.
of that, so that
Yeah.
when the app is out, you get it,
Yeah.
and all of Dr. Sunday's, you know, it's going to be very. Let's just keep it like that until it's out. But you're going to
Yeah.
get all of those repackaging you talked about to make
Yeah.
it like a call and all of that. It's going to be
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
That's right. So that's exciting, guys. You know, we're really looking forward to this.
Yeah.
So I mentioned the Millionaire Secret Mentorship Group.
Yes.
It's a privilege for me to be there. You know, I was somebody. The worldview I had about money was just, you know, you work for a living, you work to earn for a living, and that was it. So everything, whether it was a business, is just for you to live a comfortable life. That was it. And because of the religious viewpoint as well, that you know, you lay treasures in heaven. So everything that I was doing, you know, it was laying down my treasure. So I wasn't really bothered whether I was rich. But meanwhile, the man himself is really heavily rich, or is what they call stinkingly rich or something like that, you know. Yeah, he's rich, oh. But they'll be saying that, oh, you lay all your treasures, you sow, yeah, for your treasure to grow, you know, in heaven and things like that. So I didn't know anything about money. Money was just to me something that you need to earn and use to pay your bills. I was slaved. I was, you know, I was enslaved to that thing because I was working to pay my bills. Okay, you know, if the bills were paid, I was satisfied. It doesn't really matter if anything was left or not. Okay, so but then on the other hand, I have this big vision, and I don't know how. This is part of the reason why I thought there was no hope.
Yeah.
You know, so I had this big vision. It needed money for it to come to fruition.
Yes.
But there was no way I was going to get it anyway. So, you know, and when you're in your 50s, you know, you're stereotyped anyway. So you can't get certain money, whether it's some loans for something, you know, there's just something there.
Yeah.
Because when you're in your 50s, they start to wind you down, you know.
they start pushing you to the sideline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was just working just to make sure that we were comfortable, you know, to pay the bills. I was happy. But when I got into this place, I started to know that money is not for spending, you know, to save your money, money retention, you know, you retain money, you save it, you pay yourself. Baby, I didn't even know anything.
Because formally, you were not even paying yourself, you were working for your bills.
I was working for my bills.
That was it.
Yeah, that was it. I wasn't even paying myself. How would I pay myself? So there's nothing to pay. We just need to pay for all the bills and make sure everything is there. Nobody's chasing us for non-payment and things like that. No.
Yeah.
You know, that mentorship group has just the principles there. They're just something about even being diligent and being creative, you know, on how to make money, you know, either by the exchange of goods or something like that, or even via a business. And not necessarily that you create a business, because you can, via a business can be through you buying shares, you know, from existing businesses. I didn't know all of those things, you know, anything to do with finances. I used to push it to my husband. You know, I didn't want anything to do with my husband because he did some kind of accounting and he had some job managing, you know, some businesses, accounts and things like that. So anything to do with money, I would just leave it to him.
But in the church, when they're talking about finances in the church, what they only say about finances is that you should sow and you reap.
You sow that you will reap.
Yes, or that you should, you know, pray for God to open the...
you bring it all. You will see people rushing now to bring. I mean, you know, in the Shiloh, if you see what is collected, that thing,
I was like, those guys are balling. They are big.
Man,
They are
because
big
people
boys.
people want to sow, because they believe the
They've
word that
been
was coming.
brainwashed now. They've been brainwashed
Yeah.
because you are saying now that being in the millionaires mentorship group,
Yes.
you are learning practically the laws and the secrets that makes people rich, not
Yeah,
some
that's right.
mysterious, mystical thing that okay, God would somehow, just open the gates of heaven
Of
and then
heaven.
maybe bring to you the wealth of the wicked and bring it to your doorstep and all
Yeah.
those nonsense things they teach in the church. So here, Dr. Sunday is not even telling you all those jargons, right? He's telling you practical things on what you
Yeah.
need to do, if you
Yeah.
want to actually be financially free.
Yeah.
But coming from the religious, perspective and what they teach in those, in those fairs, they're telling you all jargons and all nonsense. Telling you to sow, to give, and the more you give, the more you'll be blessed, and
Yeah.
then you're giving to the
Yeah.
church. So imagine someone like where in Winners where they have like millions of followers. So imagine that's all they've been hearing all their life, that give, give,
Uh-huh.
give, give, give.
Uh-huh.
Of course,
Yeah. Yeah.
we know who's going to get rich
And
at the
God,
end of the day.
yeah, yeah. And God's timing is the best. God will multiply it. It's not a man that you should lie. So all of these words, all of these non-truths that is being said to us, and people hold on to it. Right now they think I'm a lost winner and they have to win me back or something like that.
So
No, no, it's not lost winner. It's called discouraged winner. I'm a discouraged winner.
you're a discouraged winner.
Yeah, so they still need to come and evangelize for me to get
Wow.
back.
Wow, that's interesting. Well, in a matter of time, you be the one evangelizing to them.
I know.
Or not just even you, your fruits, your results will be the one
That's
evangelizing
right.
to them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I want to tell our audience, this thing, it's easy to become a millionaire. There was a table, in that book, How to Find Money for Your Dream. I
Yeah.
found that, and there's a calculation on
Okay.
it.
I
Yeah.
think you sent us the picture.
Yes, I did send you the
Yeah,
picture.
we're going to show it now on the screen so
Yeah,
that
so
we
it's
can
so
see.
easy. I didn't know that. If I had known that, by now I would have become a millionaire.
Wow.
Even just through saving money only. Yeah.
Okay.
So you see that? I have the poster. If anybody is interested, please just, show
Maybe
your.
explain. Maybe you should explain. Is there a possibility
Okay,
for you
yes,
to
let me
explain what is
explain it.
there?
Okay.
But I don't know if
Okay.
it's very, very, very,
It's
if
not very
it's
clear, but I
clear.
will look at what I have got. Okay, so yeah, so on that poster there, so you would see that it says there that you can become a millionaire and money multiplies with time. It is time and consistency that multiplies wealth. The reason why I did this poster, and I will explain the table shortly, is because this needs to be in every home. Just stick it on your wall. I
And
mean, you can see behind me, when I come back on the screen, you can see the poster behind me there. Okay, just stick it on the wall. And this is a reminder that even when you're saving like $10 per day or $300 a month, in a year you would have earned you would have saved $3,770, and in 15 years you would have saved $124,341 dollars, and in 30 years 670 600 6 is this doctor, you have to help me here.
yeah, it's 670,000.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's right. And in 40 years, you would have saved up to 1,897,000
And that is if you're saving just $300 every
dollars
month.
a month. A month. I think this needs to be in the home so that even kids, it needs to be on the wall in your house so that
Beautiful.
your children can see how easy it is. They can start very early. Huh?
So even for if they follow this, even as a parent, if they are following this,
Yes.
and you teach them this before they even get to their 40s, they are millionaires.
Yeah, that's right. Before they get to their 40s, they're millionaires. And if you increase it, because you can increase it to even before, I mean, before maybe even in 15 years, you can actually, if you're saving up to like $600 a month or even more, or maybe $1,000, for even parents who can do that. Do you see? In 15 years or 30 years, no, in 30 years, you can become a millionaire. It's so easy. I could not believe it when Dr. Sonny was breaking this thing down. So I just thought that it would be a great idea And if anyone is interested, please let us know in the comments, because we're going to make it available to you. You'll be able to get a
Beautiful.
poster. Yeah, that's
Beautiful.
right.
Let me clap for you first for this beautiful, innovative idea that you just have.
Yeah.
And I think I don't know if anyone is listening. Everyone has to actually do their best to actually get this, because what you
Yes.
just showed is just pure mathematical calculation.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this is not prayer. This is not by prayer
No,
or
no,
by
no.
hope or by
No.
if God would like open the doors of heaven for you.
Yeah,
No,
it's easy, man. It's so easy. It's on my wall, oh. I'm going to place it in,
I can
different parts
see
of the
it.
house.
Yes,
I am so excited. I think everyone, please put in the comments, say, I'm interested, I'm interested, I'm interested. Yeah, this is a good idea. Give us some love or something like that. Let us
Ye-
know if you're interested, and
yes,
then we would put out some notice on how you can get one, and to do with how we can post it to you. You hang
yeah,
it on your wall, man. Let it be before you. Put it
yes.
behind your door in your bedroom, or before, behind a door that leads to the outside or something, and know that I can do this even without sowing all of those seeds, because we've all sown seeds, doctor, and nothing. Tell the truth now, Christian believer. You have been going for so many years, and you've been sowing these seeds. Your papa has been talking, sow this, sow that, bring everything. Bring your business tithes and everything. My business is not doing anything. It is now that I'm learning the principles of money that I know where my business, I can see the end from the beginning. The one
Beginning.
that you sow, you don't see the end from the beginning. You only hear the word of your papa. But this one, I can see the end from the beginning of
Powerful.
my investment. I can see what it will lead to, and help your family to see that. Propagate that in your community, honestly. I think this is just really amazing. And you need to be a
Brilliant.
part of that millionaire secret group. I tell you what, you think that you know it all, but you don't. The thing was broken down for us, man. I'm like, what? Why did you
I'm,
carry me back to
I'm
Sunday before
always,
now?
I'm always amazed when I hear the testimonies and the feedbacks of people who from the Millionaires Mentorship Group when we have it,
Yeah,
and I'm always like,
yeah,
wow, because people who are at different peaks of their career, because
yeah.
people who are there are not just people who are like just trying to. There are people who would say they've achieved something, but then when you hear them and they're like all stunned out, who we've
I
not had this all
know.
our lives. I've been working in this top company. I'm a managing director. I'm all of this. I
I
have it.
know.
I have a business. There are people who are already, in businesses that maybe already $1 million businesses, or maybe about to get to their million,
Yeah,
and then they are
yeah.
hearing this, that wow, how come
I
I'm
know.
hearing this? If I had known this, before now, probably my business would already be $1 million,
Oh
company,
yeah,
or even multi-million. So it's so true. People don't have an idea until when they actually come
yeah,
to actually
yeah,
experience it, and then they actually take it serious, and
yeah,
begin to
yeah,
practice what Dr. Sunday is actually talking about there. Then they realize
yeah.
that life is predictable, and that's one of the
Oh
biggest
yeah,
lessons I've
absolutely.
learned from Dr. Sunday. That
Yeah,
life is actually predictable. Why?
predictable.
Because God has created this earth and life to be governed by fixed laws and
That's
principles.
right. That's what it is.
So if you can discover those principles, if you can discover those laws,
Man, you're flying, man.
then you're ready to fly. You're ready
Oh
to fly.
yes,
Awesome.
absolutely.
So people who are watching, who are interested in this chart, it's a chart that you can keep for yourself. You can share with
Yes.
your
Yeah.
children. Just
Yeah.
write, I'm interested in the comment section. We're going to see how
Yeah.
we can get it to people,
Yeah. That's
or we'll
right.
find
Yeah.
a way to make it available to all of the
Yeah.
Dsa'S
So
family, who
yes, that's
anyone who
right.
is interested in it. And of course, big thanks to our creative mind here, Mrs. Disu. Thank you very much for coming up
Yeah.
with different. I mean,
Yeah.
why would anybody not? I mean, I'm just thinking about those people who were saying those negative things about you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so obvious that you had such a creative mind, and you have
Yeah.
such unique thought processes and unique mind,
Yeah.
with innovations and all of that.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy that you got all of your, I mean, you got yourself back, because
Yeah.
if not, I mean, it would have been a great loss to our world. I'm imagining you not doing all these things you're doing. I can't even imagine our world, without you doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
It would have been,
Yeah.
I mean, we would have really lost a great gem, And I'm just thinking about you, and not just you. And as I'm talking about you, I'm thinking about other people too who might be also or might have faced the kind of experiences that you had, and they are probably lost somewhere, and they've not been able to, regain their confidence, regain themselves, and to get to what really God has created them to do.
Yeah.
And I would just like you to give your words or your thoughts, to those kind of people who you think might have passed the same journey as you are.
Yeah, actually, Dr. Anu, I think we have to start educating people. I think it's just, I think it's ignorance. And just like me, I didn't know. I was living by those worldviews, Before I met Dr. Sunday, I thought it was over for me. Do you see? I thought that I would never be able to achieve those things until I started listening to his teaching, which I have called or termed as his voice, the voice of truth. Yeah, because that ministered truth to me. So all it took away, it erased completely on the inside of me the non-truths that I've heard. There's nothing wrong if you want to give tithes and offerings or something like that. If it's to the cause that it is, because that system was actually just really set up to help those who are less privileged.
Yes.
Say, so there's nothing wrong in that, but you have to be convinced within yourself that that money is used for that purpose. If you want to, it's just like setting up a charities organization. So what I was thinking is to educate people. And there's some things time didn't permit me. I'm still working on how to put everything I want to do onto time, to chance,
Are you talking about time as regards the program today?
No.
Okay, generally.
Generally, yeah. Okay. So I wanted to start a movement called the Life Definer Movement, where we train people. There will be challenges. We will have like a 3 days challenge or something like that, just to educate people about who they are, how to discover themselves.
Beautiful.
The reason why they were born. And it doesn't really matter, because some people are also stuck in how they were born. Maybe they've been told that they were a mistake or something like that. No. They have to actually understand the reason why that life entered the earth. It doesn't really matter the vehicle, like Dr. Sunday would say.
Yes.
The plan of God is to get you to the earth. And he already packaged you.
Beautiful.
For a particular, problem that he has seen. Because everybody, all of the over 7 billion plus people on the surface of the earth, each and every one, they have an assignment. They have a portion of the earth that they need to bring solution to, and that solution is already on the inside of them. You don't need to go and sleep in church to look for what is it that God has called you to. You can be a minister in any sphere of life. That you have to just discover that thing. God has placed it there, and it's not difficult to find.
Beautiful.
So we want to start that movement, and I was thinking that in that movement we'll have a 3 days challenge. It's like they would come, and we would tell them who they are, their uniqueness, their difference is for a purpose, okay? And they would begin to look into the wealth. It's what I call your personalized wealth, discovering your personalized wealth. All those skills that you have on the inside, God has put them there for a reason. Beautiful. So the discovery of that, because a lot of people don't know that. It's what the helper says, come and pray. It is not about that. You already have it. It's like the person given with 1 talent that went and hid it. To stop hiding, use that 1 talent. That 1 talent, you will put it down. There's a oak tree in an acorn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that is what we want in that. I think I'm still coming whether to call it the or Life Definer Movement. Okay, and from there we would also encourage them to join the Who Am I and Why Am I Alive mentorship group. Do you see?
Beautiful.
So we'll have several people, maybe like yourselves as well, to come and speak there so that people can begin to see the purpose of their lives, because a lot of people don't know. A lot of people, negative things have been spoken to them. Some people they think that they're useless on the earth. And these things that I even speak, There's somebody calling me ugly, or why is my body built this way, or something like that. You know that some people have done the ultimate. Bad words have laid, the importance of
Yeah.
speaking the right words,
Yes.
because it's
Yes.
damaged some people. It's important that people know their worth, know that they have been created, uniquely. God is the only one that they have to answer to. Nobody else has an opinion about your appearance, about what you look like. It is no, let them go and create their own humanity. They only have God to answer to. If they
That's
think
right.
you're not good enough, direct them back to God who
God.
made you.
That's
You
right.
have no, you didn't create yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That's
You
right.
didn't create yourself, man.
That's right.
So no, somebody else's opinion doesn't really matter. I remember one thing, Doctor. I know I didn't mention earlier. Let me just tell you.
Yes.
So when I was growing up as well, there was this thing that they would, I don't know, they didn't know that it would affect people. So they have the group of people who are beautiful and the people who are not beautiful. Do you see what I mean?
What?
So they
What?
would say that, oh, these ones are beautiful and these ones are not. Those things crush people, man,
That's
because
terrible.
they carry it. Huh?
That's terrible.
Yeah, it's terrible. So we want to help people find their identity in God.
Beautiful.
Human
Beautiful.
beings are a direct replica
Of
of God.
God.
He has made us in his image.
I'm
That
just
is what.
joyed. I'm joyed listening to you. I'm joyed. I'm just excited. Just looking at you. Sharing your testimony, sharing, and then
Yes.
your the gladness that comes, even from your facial expression, and the genuineness of your testimony. It's not fake it till you make it. It is
No, no, no,
real.
no, no,
This
no.
is this is real. And
It is real. This
it's
is what. Sorry,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
Keep on speaking,
Yeah,
please.
this is the impact of DS's voice of truth in my life. It reignited hope in my life. And nobody
Beautiful.
can take that away. It doesn't really matter what anybody thinks, because um, I get a lot of comments, because with State Long, I was really involved when I was at the religious organization, and they would say
Yeah.
that, oh, we will see what Sunday Adelaja would do for her. And I'm just thinking, these people don't even understand anything. They don't even know how much value his truth has brought to my life. Nobody can, it's not questionable. It's nobody's business. That is, as far as I'm concerned, irrelevant in my world now. Do you see? I
Yeah.
know what his teachings have done for me, and being under his mentorship. Nothing can change that, though.
Beautiful.
Dr. Sunday,
Beautiful.
nothing can change that. Nothing. Nothing
Beautiful.
can change that. I would say, I'm going to read something that I wrote for him.
All
So I'd
right.
written it down, that the impact of his voice of truth to me. But, when you say that you love Dr. Sunday Adelaja, I love Dr. Sunday Adelaja. Immediately, there's only one kind of love, that, oh, you're married. Why are you loving somebody else's husband? Or all of this nonsense. But, I love this man. I love this man for what he does for the kingdom of God. I love God, Dr. Anu.
Yes.
I love
Yeah.
God with all of my heart. And I'm so chuffed
Wow.
to just see how he is radically, with all of his energy, bringing out all of these truths and reprogramming the minds of our people. Whether they
Beautiful.
are criticizing him or not, we still have a large percentage of people who are now thinking people. Do you see what I mean?
Beautiful.
Who are weighing what the non-truth and the truth, the kingdom truth.
Beautiful.
You know,
Beautiful.
I'm really
Beautiful.
excited about that. So I'm going to read this that I
Yeah.
wrote. I want,
That
yeah,
that that would be a good. That would be good. That would be good for us to bring the
yeah,
conversation to an end. So read what you wrote for Dr.
yeah, that's
Sunday.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wrote this because Dr. Sunday, this is what your teachings have done in my life. Okay. So, and I want to share it with the whole world, because when I was broken, I didn't have, I
You,
didn't know how, to develop the things that I believe God has placed on the inside of me. I didn't know how that would happen, but God loved me enough to tell me through connecting me to you that it is still possible, and it doesn't really matter whether it is age or whatever. He called Abraham when he was 75. Some other people in the world, Coco Chanel started a product line in her 70s, and there's nothing stopping me, you know, in my in this age to do the same. So your teachings reignited hope that the things that God had shown me as possible. So I wrote this little piece. I'm going to read it. So I'm going to turn a little bit from the screen. So I said, DSA, your voice of truth ignited hope in my life again. Okay. So your voice was the voice of life to me. Your voice is the voice of love, the voice of care, the voice of compassion. I didn't even talk about when I first arrived at Kiev and came to the house and everything, my experience. That would be for another time. But your voice, your teachings was the voice of peace and joy and happiness in my life. Okay. Your voice was the voice of fatherhood, it was the voice of family. It's blessing the whole world right now. People are being impacted, changed in their mindsets just because of the words that come out of you, the voice, the words of truth, the voice of truth. Those words of truth are the words of the kingdom, the word of God. This was all you are teaching is what God wants for us, human beings. Okay, so your voice is the voice of encouragement, the voice of a future and of a tomorrow. Okay, your voice is the voice of restitution and reformation. Just keep doing what you're doing. It doesn't really matter, you know, the criticisms that come, because when change is about to happen, you will still find people who will stand against that change. But God is doing a work by you voicing out the truth of his kingdom. So I'm so really excited. So your voice is the voice of transformation, of restoration, and of establishment of his kingdom. Your voice is the voice of forgiveness. Even in the midst of all of the criticism, you still find, your voice still forgives people. That's what God has asked us to do, just like him. We were created to be like him. Your voice is a voice of hope to the people, regardless of race, color, or religion. I believe that even in the unsettlement that is all around the world right now, that your voice, your voice of truth will be heard by all these people. Because I believe that God created you for such a time as this. Your voice is a voice that spans across the world. It doesn't matter if anybody doesn't like that. It's got nothing to do with them. This is what God has created you for. Your voice thunders the heartbeat of God. Your voice is the voice of the kingdom of God, the voice of authority. Okay, your voice is the voice of life. This your voice pulled me out of despair and confusion. And that's why I can give this testimony today. Okay. Your voice repositioned me for greatness, for the purpose of God in my life. And I'm going to fulfill that before I return back to him. He has given me time, and I will use it wisely. Your voice reactivated my self-confidence. Okay. Your voice taught me how to discover myself and my purpose. Your voice taught me life is a school and time is life. Okay. Your voice taught me how to value life and use it wisely. Dr. Sunday Adelaja, your voice is the voice of truth to me and to the whole world. This voice, your voice of truth, your teachings is the voice of life. I want to thank you so much for all that you sacrificed yourself to do for humanity. I want to thank Pastor Bosse for allowing you, even in the midst of all controversy, just standing with you. This is a high calling, and your it is your kind that can do it. I am very privileged to know you. I love you forever. I'm grateful to God to be part of your team. I'm developing, daily values that you're teaching me, the things that we see you, you know, um, you model them to us, and we can learn from all that you do. Thank you so much. Happy
Wow.
birthday again. So
Wow.
grateful to know you. I am so grateful to God for a second chance to meet Dr. Sunday in life. God loves
Wow.
me so much.
Wow. Wow.
That's why I am able to connect with him. Yes, thank
Wow.
you. Thank you,
That
Dr. Anu.
that's so touching. Thank you so much. And I want to believe that our viewers have been blessed by your testimony today. Thank you for for
Yes,
deciding to come forward, to come out, to share your journey, to share some details that people will consider personal. For being vulnerable enough to share those things that could also help people who are perhaps going through the same thing. For them to
yes,
find strength, for them to
yes,
find hope. And that's one of the beautiful things that I've learned from the scriptures, that whatever God does to you, his intention is to do it through you. So,
yes.
for example, if you were once hopeless and God gives you hope, the
Mm-hmm.
idea is for you not just to be the receiver of hope, but for you to be a
Yes.
channel of hope to others.
Amen.
If God comforts you, then the comfort is not meant to be for you, it's meant to be
That's
also
right.
for others. So, and that's
Yes.
what I've learned from Dr. Sunday too. Whatever he
Mm-hmm.
has, and that's what that's gotten into a lot of people misunderstanding and misinterpreting him, because whatever he
Yes.
gets, he just wants to share it. He wants to just tell everybody, okay, I got this. I need you to also know that you can get it also, because I'm a
Mm-hmm.
channel. I'm not meant
Yeah.
to be just a reservoir, but I'm meant to be a channel. And that's what you've done. Your
Mm-hmm.
story
Mm-hmm.
today is you actually being a channel of hope to people.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
DSA didn't just reignite hope in you,
Mm-hmm.
and that was the end. But through your testimony today, you've also
Yes.
reignited hope in the lives of many others. So I want to
Yes.
appreciate you for that, and thank you for all that you
Thank
do.
you.
Thank you for being, thank you for being Mrs. Adeola Disu. That's it. There's only one Adeola Disu, and so thank you so
Yes,
very
ma'am.
much for that.
Thank you.
Awesome. So I want to just say some words to our viewers who are watching us. Thank you for being with us today. I'm hoping that you found this testimony beneficial in one way or the other. I'd like to encourage you to share the video to your friends if you think they could learn one or two from it. You could also suggest it to your family members. And yes, we'll be back tomorrow for the grand finale. Tomorrow we're going to have a final guest on the life transforming testimony. So you want to join us 7 p.m. tomorrow. Kiev time, that is 5 p.m. Nigerian time, 5 p.m. UK time. We're going to have guests joining us from Nigeria. They will be sharing their own testimony, and that would be the final testimony on this whole series. It has been a wonderful journey. Oh my God. I've been super blessed, and I just hope you also have been blessed if you've been able to join us right from the first day of May till today. I hope it's been a blessing to you. So, my name is Anu Ojo, and it's definitely a pleasure to be with you today, to be on your screens. So, if you want to watch the previous episodes, I'd like to encourage you to go to Dr. Sunday's YouTube channel. That is Dr. Sunday Adelaja. Search for the life transforming testimonies, and you'll be able to watch this episode and also previous episodes on the life transforming testimonies. Mrs. Adeola Disu spoke about the mentorship courses and how it helped her tremendously. If you're watching and you want to be a part of that, you want to take the course, you can do that by writing to mentorship at God Embassy. The two courses that Dr. Sunday is running right now is the course on the Millionaires Mentorship to learn on finances, and the other one is on the Who Am I, Why Am I Alive, which is basically all about discovering your calling and your purpose on earth. So these two courses are available. So just write to our office at mentorship@godembassy.org and you get a response on how you can obtain the course. We'll be back tomorrow. Till then, we want to wish you a wonderful evening from Kyiv, Ukraine. Take good care of yourself. Bye for now.